Hi guys, this is Mohammed and today I'll be setting up a primary DNS server for the root zone and a caching server that will point towards that primary DNS server for the root zone. So what happens is this root server basically typically has the records for the top level domains, which is .com, .ca and all of them. So that's already set up for the intranet. But let's say if you want to have your own internet naming scheme, you want to have your own domains. Let's say you want to have your own www.google.com or whatever, right? You can do so by like deploying a primary DNS server for the root zone. The servers in the intranet, they only host the top level domain records like .com or .ca, but my root server will have the top level as well as the second level, which comes before .com. So if google.com, so I will have the record for .com as well as Google, and I'll show you how. So I'm just gonna SSH to my machine, which I'll deploy a root server in. Okay. So I've already installed the bind packages. You can do it through this. This will give us the DNS service. Oh, also there's a prerequisite to this. You have to have a primary DNS server at least set up, because the root server will be pointing towards the name server for the main zone. Yeah. So I've already installed this. Let's go ahead and configure the main name.conf for the root zone. Right, so here instead of zone.in and then you have type hint, which suggests that it's caching the root zone, you want to make it a master for this master, and then you can name this file anything, root.net. Remove this line, allow query, and you don't want to perform recursion on this root server as well, and make sure you have the IP address of the machine here, the local machine. In my case it's .4. Okay, and make note of this file because we will be creating it. So that's that. I'm gonna go to our named, create the file that we mentioned in that document. Okay, so it's already there. I already created it before. So make note of these records, right? This is the name of this server, root.msm.net. That's the qualified domain name of this machine, and this is the IP of it. This is msm.net, as I mentioned that I will have a second level domain as well, and then this is the primary server for that zone, msm.net. And this is the reverse zone of msm.net, and this is the primary server for that reverse zone. The IP address of the primary server is here. Okay, that's that. And open ports 53 UDP and TCP. TCP D port 53J accept. So the cache server can actually communicate with the root and get the records, and then we can open UDP, and that's pretty much it. Let's start the service. Okay, so the root server is done. Right, if you want to check it, we can say go to resolve conf and try to resolve it through our own IP address. This is just makes things easier. If I put my domain name here, and if I just want to if I want to ping ns.msm.net, instead of saying the fully qualified domain name, I can just say ping ns, and it will automatically add msm.net because of this statement. Yeah, and this is because I'm resolving it through my own machine, so I will add my own IP address here. Yeah, let's try pinging ns.msm.net. Right, so this is the primary server, and we can ping records that's not like that's the one that primary server for MSM.NET holds, like cache, right? And it would ping it because it's getting those records from the primary server of this MSM.NET domain. Okay, so we're done in root. Let's go to caching. Okay, so I'm gonna SSH into my caching server. SSH 192.168.3. So I've already installed the buying packages. Have I? No, I think I removed it. So let's install the bind packages. Okay, they're already installed. Right. Now we're gonna go ahead and configure our name.conf. Change this to the IP address of the local machine 192.168.12.5. Allow query, remove this, otherwise specify which one to allow. Like you can specify the clients that should be querying to this server, or if you remove it, then it will be automatically allowed to everyone. Recursion, this is the only server that needs recursion, as it will go out and look for records that it doesn't have. So this is the only server will have the recursion enabled. We're gonna disable the DNS sec look aside. There's a whole story behind it, but basically my root server is not registered, so this cannot work. This security feature cannot work, and we're gonna comment this out as well because my root server is not registered. Type, the other thing we're gonna be changing here is this zone dot type hint fine. That means it's a caching server. Type hint means it's caching it. Instead of name.ca, I will name my file file.ca, and then I'll go ahead and cd var named, check if I have. So I already have created file.ca. I'll go through the records. Right, dot zone in ns. So the NS server, as in the primary name server of dot zone, is root.msm.net, right? And the IP address of this server is 192.168.12.4. So anything that it doesn't know, so if the clients will be resolving through the caching server, anything that it doesn't know, it will forward to the root server. Now root server has the record for msm.net. If you want to add more domains like anything else, example.com or whatever, you can add it in the root.net file that we went through here. Similar format that we followed for the msm.net domain. So that's that. Open the ports, TCP port 53 and UDP. TCP D port 53J accept, UDP accept, and check the resolve conf, and then add the domain name to make things easier, and then resolve it through its own through locally. So you want to check if this server is functioning or not. 5. We're gonna go ahead and restart this daemon. Name daemon is for DNS. Right, and let's check. So let's say if I ping ns.msm.net, look, it pings. Yeah, because I had a mistake here, it didn't recognize ns. Now it should. See, so it added msm.net by default. So this way our caching is working and our root is working, and I reiterate, primary server has to be there containing the records. So we can always, like, we can ping the records that are there in the primary server cache and other records that you can look up in my previous videos that when I did my primary server. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Have a very good day. Take care. Bye bye.